Welcome back to AniQuest. Today I will recap Parasite. The story begins when Shinichi wakes up with a strange feeling and unsettling sensation in his right hand. His parents talk to him about how weird he was acting last night, but he doesn't recall. While he is on his way to school, his longtime friend Satomi Murano sneaks up behind him and surprises him. However, Shinichi's right hand involuntarily moves and catches her hand. Not just that, his right hand then proceeds to grab her left banana without a single ounce of shame or dignity. But words weren't enough to save him from an incoming slap. Even when he was sleeping in class, his right hand just keeps scrolling through the phone. We then cut back to what happened last night. A parasitic creature had infiltrated our boy's body, aiming to control his brain. However, due to Shinichi wearing earphones while sleeping, the parasite was forced to redirect its path, burrowing into his right arm instead. Unaware of the presence of the parasite, Shinichi continues his daily routine at school normally, but is unable to comprehend the strange changes happening to his body. The true nature of the parasite within Shinichi begins to reveal itself when on his way back home. Witnesses a young girl in danger and about to be hit by a car. To his astonishment, his right hand instinctively moves on its own, stopping the vehicle just in time to save the girl's life. This event shocks our boy, making him question his sanity and the inexplicable powers his hand now possesses. Driven by confusion and fear, Shinichi decides to test the limits of his newfound abilities. In a desperate attempt to regain control over his right hand, he tries to stab it with a knife. But his efforts are in vain, as the parasite reveals its true form. Shinichi tries to attack him but breaks the knife with ease. Shinichi is shattered as he comes face to face with the reality that he shares his body with a foreign creature. With this shocking revelation, Shinichi is now forced to navigate a precarious situation. He must cooperate with the parasite inhabiting his hand while concealing its existence from his parents. The burden of the secret is heavily on Shinichi, further isolating him from those closest to him. As Shinichi reluctantly partners with the parasite, he discovers that it has its agenda and directives. It directs Shinichi's attention to a dog inhabited by another parasite, and our boy quickly runs away before this dog attacks him. Shinichi's hand quickly goes to eliminate this being by destroying its heart. Thus Shinichi's journey begins as he struggles against the constant threats of the parasites. Our boy must cooperate with the parasite inhabiting his hand and protect the lives of everyone around him, all while hiding the truth from his loved ones. Our hero, seeking a way to address the parasite inhabiting his right hand, asks about his name, introduces himself as Migi. After our boy impresses Satomi by making the winning shot in a basketball game at school, Kazuki becomes jealous and picks a fight with Shinichi outside. Shinichi recoils in fear, but Migi forces him to fight back and punch Kazuki. Shinichi later hears from Yuko that gruesome mincemeat murders are being reported in various locations around the world. He learns from Migi that parasites practice cannibalism for survival. Migi senses a parasite nearby, controlling a man named Mr. B, and Shinichi heads to an alley to lead him away from other people. This ugly one appears behind him named Mr. B. Mr. B invites Migi to join him to extend their lifelines, but Migi chooses to kill Mr. B and remain with Shinichi. The next day, after Shinichi serves pancakes to Satomi and apologizes for touching the manga, they see three ugly throwing stones at a cat buried in a playground sandbox. Shinichi intervenes and stops them, surprising Satomi with his apparent personality change. The ugly three try to throw stones at Shinichi, but Shinichi catches the stones and is angry. The three ugly have their pants down. During a school assembly, Shinichi is dismayed to discover that their new math teacher, Ryoko, is a parasite, and aware of his secret. After class, Shinichi privately meets Ryoko in the counselor's office, where she declares that she is not interested in fighting, and asks him to meet her after school. They meet at a restaurant, where Ryoko introduces her partner, Mr. A, and reveals that she is pregnant, establishing that parasites are capable of reproducing humans. The next day, during class, this ugly entered the school campus, attacking staff and forcing the students to evacuate. Migi suggests using the crowd of students as a shield to ambush this ugly, but our hero disagrees and runs to the top floor to lure Mr. A away from the students. Migi reminds our hero that they must fight together as they're confronted by that ugly. As Migi and Mr. A exchange rapid attacks, our hero takes the opportunity to puncture Mr. A in the chest with a metal table leg. Mortally wounded, he runs away quickly, and the ugly tries to find Ryoko, but she sets off an explosion with gas tanks to kill him, and she escapes to safety. The pregnant and unmarried Ryoko is forced to resign from the school. Our boy encounters her as she leaves, and she explains that every living organism follows a directive, and parasites were born to feast on humans. Meanwhile, Migi experiments with separating itself for short periods from Shinishi's body. Shinishi's parents plan a trip to the beach, but although our boy worries about their safety because of the mincemeat murders, he reluctantly agrees that they should go. Following comments from his parents and friends, Shinichi suspects that he is undergoing psychological changes. When he sees our boy, a gang of delinquents led by Mitsuo assaulting Kazuki, our hero steps in and stops them, but takes a beating before the gang leaves. A female gang member named Kana detects something frightening about his nature, and she is terrified of our boy and runs away quickly. After school, Mitsuo and his gang abduct Satomi, and Shinichi tries to intervene, but he is severely beaten again because he refuses help from Migi. Fearing that Migi would kill them, a senior student named Kamijo arrives with a large group of students to deal with Mitsuo and his gang. An intense battle takes place, but unfortunately we do not see it. Later, after Satomi leaves, Kana shows up to apologize, but when she shakes hands, she again detects something strange. Our boy quickly leaves the place, and Migi deduces that Kana can sense parasite wavelengths. Meanwhile, a parasite that has been searching for a female body attacks Nobuko and takes her body as its host before attacking Kazuyuki. Shinichi receives a call from his father warning him about his mother, but he is shocked when she arrives home. She attacks our hero and pierces through the chest. Our boy cries profusely after seeing his mother like this. After Nobuko leaves, Migi merges into Shinichi's body to seal the hole inside of his heart and saves his life. Shinichi is informed that his father is in the hospital and vows to kill the parasite controlling his mother. On his way there, he meets Makiko, a young student working at an inn near the hospital. At the hospital, Shinichi becomes angry when his father denies seeing a monster take his mother, and he realizes it is because his father is unable to face the truth. Our boy stays at the nearby inn, where Makiko works while planning to find the parasite responsible for his mother's death. Migi explains to Shinichi that since repairing his heart, its senses are inoperative while asleep. The next day, Migi senses a parasite nearby, and Shinichi runs towards the end of the sea wall, where he sees someone who may be responsible for Nobuko's death. Shinichi meets Mamoru, a human who has a parasite fused into his jaw which saved him from drowning after he fell off a cliff. Our boy tells Mamoru how he first encountered Migi and how his father ended up in the hospital. Mamoru cries for Shinichi. Later at night, Migi explains to Shinichi that it had scattered cells throughout his body to close the heart wound. This shows his extraordinary strength. Mamoru senses a Nobuko, and Shinichi heads in her direction. However, Migi falls asleep after morphing into a scythe, leaving our hero to fight by himself. Mamoru and Nobuko fight and exchange blows. Mamoru is badly wounded by Nobuko, falls drowning in his blood, and Shinichi arrives to fight That's Ugly alone. Nobuko wounds our boy and falls to the ground, but Mamoru executes a surprise attack, killing Nobuko. After saying goodbye to Makiko, our boy returns to school. The pregnant Ryoko assigns an ugly parasite-controlled host to impersonate a student and keep an eye on Shinichi. The ugly that was sent by Ryoko is called Hideo, and he gets together with our boy. When he shows up at school, Kana believes she detects Shinichi approaching, but it is Hideo instead. Shinichi arrives and warns Hideo to stay away from his Kana, although our boy acknowledges that she can sense the wavelengths of some types of people. Hideo wonders why Shinichi cannot always sense his presence and thinks his parasite may have a weakness. That very evening, Hideo changes his face to look like Shinichi, and he eats a young lady. The police chief shows up to question Shinichi's father about his wife's death and the parasites. Haruki is the more established brother of Yuko, and he figures out how to draw a police sketch of the suspect killing individuals. Before long, Yuko finds out that Hideo can morph his face, and that is when Haruki clears up for Yuko about the parasites. The next day, Yuko goes to defy Hideo about his falsehoods and twofold character. Hideo assaults Yuko, however, their battle gets stopped when Yuko leaps through the window. Hideo fails to keep a grip on his parasite structure and begins to kill everybody in sight. Although the students were evacuated, many of them were killed. Hideo moves to the roof and our hero appears, where Migi helps him throw a rock through a hideous chest, killing him. 17 victims including students, teachers, and policemen are reported massacred by Hideo. At a high-level government meeting, they decide to keep the existence of parasites a secret. A scientist named Dr. Yui reports that parasites can be identified by plucking hair from anywhere on the body to ascertain its physiology because the hair stays alive for a short time. Of course, a new form of greeting becomes popular, pulling out a strand of each other's hair. Meanwhile, a parasite named Godu, disguised as a male wearing gym clothing, murders 22 armed members of a Yakuza organization as an experiment to test his fighting ability without resorting to parasite weaponry. Later, while out on a date with Satomi, he experiences pain in his chest after seeing a mother about to slap her disobedient child. Kana becomes dejected after she witnesses our boy kissing Satomi after a date. Later, Migi senses 8 parasites at Takeshi's mayoral campaign, promoting environmentalism. Although Godu detects Shinishi's presence, Migi cannot determine his political motives. Shinichi and Migi discuss possibilities of why Takeshi might be running for mayor, and conclude that it would be to create a haven for parasites. Shinichi encounters Kana and becomes concerned that her ability may place her in danger. He arranges to meet her in an abandoned building, while Migi is asleep, and explains about the parasites in Migi. But after she brushes it off as a joke, he promises to show Migi to her one day. Later, Migi reveals to Shinichi that Kana emits a rather weak signal detectable by parasites, meaning that they can also seek her out. Shinichi convinces Migi to reveal his true form when planning to meet with Kana, but he cancels the meeting after detecting parasites. Kana then assumes that Shinichi will be at the abandoned building again, so again she uses her instincts to track him. But instead, she finds a parasite who attacks her. The parasite stabs Kana through her chest just as Shinichi arrives. Our hero rips out the host's heart in a blind rage, and Kana dies in Shinichi's arms. At her funeral, Shinichi appears calm. After the funeral, he departs the location, but his path is unexpectedly blocked by Mitsuo. Mitsuo unleashes a barrage of punches upon Shinichi, demanding to know why he didn't protect Kana. He questions why Shinichi isn't shedding a single tear, and doubts if he's truly human. Fueled by his anger, Shinichi retaliates by landing a forceful punch on Mitsuo's nose. He fiercely asserts that he isn't entirely human anymore, and confronts the reality of how easily lives are extinguished. Filled with a mix of emotions, Shinichi retreats to a forest, grappling with his inner turmoil. He questions his calm demeanor and contemplates whether Migi has taken control of his mind. He resorts to striking his head against a tree, but Migi implores him to cease the self-inflicted harm. In a moment of self-reflection, our boy realizes that for now at least his blood is still red. Thanks for watching my recap. Subscribe and ring the notification bell for future parts.